Hey, glad you could make it. Welcome to Fantasy Dad Pods, where dad bods are glorified and dad jokes are encouraged. I'm JT, accompanied by Sean. Sean, how we doing?
Pretty good this week. Pretty good. I'll link how I'm doing to a baseball analogy. Where we live, it is hard hit exit velo of Shohei Ohtani temperatures where we live right now. When it used to be Jose Urias temperatures, the king of medium hit balls, not hard hit balls, but not soft hit balls, but medium. Learned that the other day actually, but yeah, we're down, up from the high 80s to triple digits over here now, and never know that more than when I set my alarm this morning to wake up and mow the lawn. So before it was too horrible to be outside for 10 seconds. But yeah, that was an action my wife was all about. She's like, "You need to set your alarm and you need to get up there." So she took care of the kids this morning while I did the lawn duties and got all that going. So it was the grass didn't grow much because it's trying not to also get as close to the sun as possible. Because I feel like even the grass is like, if we could just stay a little short, that'd be great. But yeah. Other than that, dad front nothing. Did have a buddy come visit that we both know out of town. Saw his little girl, so that was fun. But kind of last minute thing. Very actually the definition of last minute. But yeah. Other than that, just living the triple digits dad life. Where we're trying to get him outside, but then it's too hot, and I'm like, let's just play baseball inside. And I'm not sure how Thursday's gonna go. Second baseball game,
Hmm.
we'll see. With how hot that's going to be. It's going to be 111, I believe, that day. So we'll see if we go. And if we go and he doesn't participate, we might just leave early because I don't want him sitting outside if he's not going to play baseball. So in that type of weather. So
Right.
we'll see how that goes. What about you? Anything fun?
Oh, since we last spoke, I think I did a Washington State Cornhole Championships in Wenatchee. That was pretty fun. It kind of reminded me of like a Hoop Fest kind of weekend vibe. Um, met now Sacramento Kings former WSU basketball Isaac Jones. Really kind of cool story and seemed like a really nice, humble kid. Recently married, so congrats. But for a guy who started out playing JUCO ball to make it, didn't get drafted, but he got picked up and signed 10 minutes after the draft ended. So I think they wanted him pretty badly. So that's kind of cool just to meet him and tell him go Cougs. And other than that, a lot of fireworks. Lit off a lot of fireworks recently. We wrapped up some swim lessons for the youngest, so feeling pretty proficient there. And then we had big old barbecue with friends last night that went pretty late, but kids got to play in the water for like I don't know 8 hours straight. So they had a blast. This
Gosh, I'm
tall, like 30-foot water slide, inflatable, just go, 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 go.
I'm just tired of thinking about that. Just like 40 minutes outside in this weather is just like I need a nap. Like I don't know how kids do it, man. It's just that's what I feel like when it gets hot. It's not even that it's like the heat. It's just like I'm so tired. Like I'm just so tired just being outside, and I'm just like you step outside to throw out the trash, and you're like ugh, and it just hits you, and you're like ugh, just get me back inside. I'm just done, and or just don't want to go anywhere. Like we don't usually do the grocery pickup, but it's just like, yeah, just put it in the car. like,
Yeah.
like it just, I don't want to get out. If I want to stop the AC in the car, it's just one of those. It's funny you say that because that's what we did today. We're like, let's have a cheat day. I'm trying to copy you, trying to lose some lbs. So down 10 pounds. So, um, but I was like, let's have a cheat day, and I was like, let's just do it somewhere. And the kids like McDonald's, so Qdoba and McDonald's were got. You could probably guess who got what, but yeah, I'm like just two places of a drive through because I'm not gonna get out of my car once it starts up. It's
Yeah.
not stopping. I'm gonna get boom boom boom, and let's just go because I'm not. yeah. So she watched the kids, and I just picked up lunch real quick. That was our cheat day. So yeah, it's I don't know where everybody's listening from, but it's too hot. It's just too hot. So yeah, the swimming pool sounds amazing. I just wish I had the energy of children under the age of 10. like yeah, like yeah, even 12. I don't know if 12-year-olds are running around there, but yeah, my son did have a birthday party he went to inside of the trampoline park. I assume you've been to that trampoline park over, what is it, up
The
or
new
whatever.
one?
Yeah,
The
the one across from Applebee's, Kennewick.
yeah, Max Air
Yeah,
Garrett.
Max Air. I've never been inside, and it was right during the youngest nap time, so I stayed home. But wife said it was pretty legit. The kid had a great time. Although it was one of those where he's so accustomed to that how it is when he wants a bounce house outside, and he loves that setup. And we're like, you want every time he goes to a birthday party, Chuck E. Cheese, Quake, which is like a bounce house plus arcade for those that don't know. This place where it's just trampoline park or somewhere else like an iPlay or something, or it's like a big obstacle course climbing around thing. We're always like, do you want to go there or home? And he's like, at first he's always like, yeah, let's go there. And then we ask him like we get home, and he's like, no, I want it at home. like it
Yeah.
always comes back, and then he's always like, I want a Pokemon party at home. I'm like, okay, buddy, well, we'll probably do that one
Well,
more year.
you need to
Then
go inside next time because they've got a full designated dodgeball trampoline area, fully netted in. So you got to
where
show them the
was
ropes.
where was this when we grew up? I just wanted to know. We've been all
Yeah.
about that dodgeball thing. Now I couldn't imagine doing something like that. I sidebar here. Well, another dad fellow dad. Shout out Brett. Talked. He's playing in an adult soccer league, and he almost got in a fight with a younger guy the other day, just from like something he didn't want to be a part of it. And I was like, Brett, I think I pulled like 4 muscles just thinking about getting in a physical altercation with somebody else. Like I just I don't have that level of exertion in my body anymore. like wrestling with a 4-year-old is about where I max out, and that's what I do right now. The other one hasn't teamed up yet, so I'm like, how am I going to handle any more than this? So, but like fighting a 23-year-old, I'd be like, it's just like one of those where I'd like sigh, like I don't want to do it. I'm tired thinking about it. Like, so that's just like, I guess I'm really on this kick of like, I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. Like, just like my whole life. And I've been sleeping pretty well. I need like a longer nap. I don't know what it is. We're going to Portland next week, and I think I'm getting ready for the lack of sleep. My body's like, all right, you're not going to sleep here for a couple of
Right.
days. So, because the youngest, it does not. I'm going to explain something to young parents or something out there. The oldest sleeps with us in the bed. We get a big bed, but the youngest is still in like a pack and play. But the problem is, he's a pretty good sleeper once he gets down, but he has to get down first, so he has to turn off all the lights and everything. And as I said before, there's a 4-year-old. They don't really get the idea of being quiet, and they don't go
Hmm.
to bed at the same time. So I have to somehow convince the 4-year-old to be quiet for 30 minutes till the other one gets down. And then he can, I mean, when he doesn't get louder or anything like that, but I'm like, you gotta shut up for 30 minutes because that first night we were on the Oregon coast, before, it was just a long night. I was like, you gotta be quiet while the youngest goes to sleep. So we're at that fine stage of like the two kids are just right in that age group where they're not quite aligned yet, and
Yeah.
you're just like, dude, but I need one like, because when the youngest one gets older and they both understand it, then it's like whatever, it's easier. But the oldest doesn't quite understand the youngest one yet, and the youngest one's just a baby still, so he's just like,
Yeah.
he's just gonna cry. So I'm ready for that, where I'm not gonna sleep much, and then the baby's gonna wake up at like 6 and wake everybody up, and that's just what it's gonna be. But we're I guess my body's like dreading that we're getting ready there. So that's the life story there. But that's why people tune in.
First
Yes.
idea was to give him a tablet and then throw the sheets over him and be like, we're playing in a teepee, and then try to dim all the lights and try.
That's
Yeah.
what we figured out actually, because we were there for 4 nights. After the first night, we would uh take turns showering, me and the wife, because we made the two kids together. Get the youngest down. We give the oldest the tablet, and he just like watch Pokemon. He loves Pokemon, and then it was enough light that it wasn't enough light that it would wake him up. Because again, the youngest is a pretty good sleeper, but it was just like the noise is what would get him. So I'm like, just be quiet and look at this tablet. Like, and then we had to time it because he doesn't like to stop mid episode. So we're like, okay, after this episode, we both get out. We're going to bed. So it was always like 9 o'clock, and then he like
Mm,
he's very excited about the big bed. Like we told him today, we was packing clothes for just get a little bit ahead. He's like big bed, and he just gets really excited. So when we put the tablet down, it's like he gets to roll around and like kick people in the face and just like do everything. So then it takes him another hour to go to sleep, and then
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot for two children. You think it'd be easier, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not.
I remember pre-kids. I think we were married though, but pre-kids going to like Silver with the nephews, and the nephews were like 5 or 6, and then like maybe like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah,
And the room that we got was like two queens, and so sister-in-law, brother-in-law with the oldest in that bed, and then the wife and I with the other nephew in the second one, just for the night to go up to the
yeah.
amusement park. This kid they didn't warn us. He flips end to end, like feet to head. He's like half a dozen times during the night,
Oh man. Oh
and
man.
it was like the most thing. We were just like, it woke me up every time. Like, what the hell is going? Oh, okay. And it was just like, it was almost like he was sleepwalking almost, but it just fully just like, I swear one time he stood up in the bed just to flip. I was just like, are you sure you're still asleep? Like, this is getting a little much,
It's
but
gotta be like a kid thing because my son does that too, where he's like he doesn't flip, but he constantly is moving. Like there's times where he'll like end up by my feet, and then he'll be like by my pillow, and I'm like just like I'm a light sleeper and I move quite a bit, but like I don't move the entire length of an adult bed. You know,
yeah,
like what are we doing? Like
yeah.
just flip over back and forth, move a little bit, but he's just like boom down by the feet, but by the head. And then like in the middle, and he's like touching both people, and I'm like, "What is
Yeah,
happening?"
the
Like,
touching to both people, I think, like, they're still
yeah,
here. This is reality. The dream wasn't real. Gonna go back to sleep.
yeah, I'm just like they're it's like a marathon, man. That's why kids don't put on weight because they run a marathon in their sleep. I'm just like just sit still, but like yeah, that's why that's the key to being fit is just like yeah, get your cardio in at night. That's what it is. They just
And then
they're just
shock the
animals.
traps to finish. Yeah. I mean,
Speaking
that's
of shock in the traps, I guess shock on the quads. Julio Rodriguez pulled.
what's the deal?
I, I didn't see it. I didn't get to watch a lot of baseball this weekend, or yes, other than today, which he got tossed today. He pinch hit in the eighth inning, got hit by a pitch, unrelated, totally fine. Hit the elbow guard, had a pinch runner come in, and it was tossed in between innings. Like it was a whole like sequence of things, but yeah, still not good enough to like really run super hard. Uh, Said that it was fine. We've talked about it before. The idea of soft tissue, we don't see anything, kind of makes me more nervous than if they saw something
Yeah.
because I don't know what that means. It's probably good, but what if it lingers? A la Mike Trout, you know what I mean? Like these types of things. So, grain of salt. It's not like Julio's been carrying your team anyways. Might be for the best at this point, but it can't be good. It can't be good because the one thing he was kind of doing was stealing some bases, and if he's gonna not do that for out short term, it's gonna be rough. The Twins and Houston Astros played a series and proceeded to hurt everybody. Jordan Alvarez struck in the knee, hobbled. Was not in the game today as Sunday when they were recording. So who knows? And then Carlos Correa hit in the right hand. X-rays came back negative, but anytime you hit those bird bones in your hand, it's kind of you hold your breath still till they're back out there. But yeah, apparently they're plunking everybody in that series. So
It's an eye for an eye. Yeah, Altuve made that nice little catch, short, shallow right field, and then he got hit in the hand. He was out for the next game, but I think he played today.
yeah,
Let off. So I think they're just getting him back, getting Correa back for the Altuve thing because Altuve made the catch on Correa's blue. It's just bad blood, you know.
what's the history there? I don't remember.
Someone is better than someone else. Neener, boo boo.
And don't want to be associated with no cheaters no more.
Don't want no scrub.
Ketel Marte, remove her pinch hitter, back tightness day to day. But again, Marte has had a history of injuries. Nothing new. So anytime he gets hurt with nothing really happening, soft tissue, makes me very, very nervous. Fott, Brandon Fott, comebacker, left foot, removed from the game. A right ankle contusion is just funny. He's got a bruise on his ankle. Thanks for saying that. You just didn't have to put it out there if that's what all you're gonna say. Bryce Harper, about to come back. Let's see that from the hammy we talked about, or maybe these are all like could be comebacks. Anderson. You see anybody else, JT here? See a lot of people coming back from injury, so maybe post All-Star break might be like hallelujah for some teams. But I've seen a lot of people are getting there. But I mean,
did you mention Anthony Rendon? Because
no.
hot quote, he was saying that he wanted to come back and play baseball, which is pretty big news in terms of the mentality of that man. I don't know what's worse, like a Ponzi scheme or Anthony Rendon's career post Nationals.
I mean, is there a difference? It is one of they're both Ponzi schemes.
they're both just fraud.
Yeah, is it just both like we're getting Bernie Madoff situation for both? Like, where was Bernie Madoff during this whole Rendon contract signature? That's what we got to figure out. Yeah, I cannot wrap my head around the fall off of Anthony Rendon. I still just cannot. It needs to be studied. It needs to be a 30 for 30. I think I was sharing stats, JT, with you. In his, I don't remember the exact stat, but he's played 4 years in LA. I think he has 19 home runs. He had double that in his last year with Washington. I don't like I just like what happened? Like I just it can't be just one thing, right? It's gotta be like I've never seen someone that peak, like just be like, I'm not playing. Because it's not even that he like got worse. Because everybody's, when you're in your 30s, you're gonna get worse. It was just like he's not a major league player anymore. It is like, like it's kind of like the drop off where people thought Russell Wilson was having with the Broncos, and then he comes back and he has an actual NFL head coach, and he's not maybe not like prime Russell, but he's like, oh, you're an NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those. But like Rendon it's like Rendon's coach is always Nathaniel Hackett. Like it's just like what is happening for 4 years, and it's just all him. I just can't. I don't understand. Yeah, a lot of people. All the Cubs are getting healthy. Other than Kyle Hendricks, but again, we're keeping it to fantasy relevant people. Sorry, took a shot. Yeah, I don't see anybody else unless there's somebody missing. JT, we can.
No one big stands out per se. I guess Bednar looks like he might make it back soon. I mean, that has some saves ramifications, but
I did. All-Star games were mentioned today. Our lineups were mentioned, and I had somebody text me and be like, "Hey, I can't believe the Dodgers got 6 people. That's crazy. I know they're good, but 6 people." And I had to remind them. I'm like, just based on MVPs, that team has 5 MVP trophies there. So I mean, with 4 people, so 6 isn't crazy. like I was like, it's about. I mean, you get one other. Like I was like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. Yeah. Like if all your MVP people play like MVPs, which one is not Clayton Kershaw, but the other 3 are all going, and then which makes sense, and then you get a couple other guys who you're like, okay, Tyler Glasnow turns out is one of them, has 1 MVP. What a bum, but like I'm like, yeah, they're good at baseball. They're pretty good at baseball. So yeah, when you have as many MVPs as all-star roster spots, yeah, it should make sense there. Not a knock on the person, just saying like, and they were like, oh yeah, I guess that's a good point, because thinking about it, because most teams don't have like 4 MVPs on their team, and so I had to remind them like, yes, they have 4 league MVPs on their team, and one won it twice. So when you think about it in context of that, they should have about 6 all-stars. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. How many NL MVPs do they have on their team? Boom, roasted.
2.
You know, because this is an NL team that matters. There's difference now,
2?
right?
Yeah. I was gonna
Still
say
two.
2.
Okay,
Still 2.
okay, I'll allow
When
it.
did Mookie win his? He won it with the Red Sox?
Yeah, I thought so.
Gosh, I can't
2019.
remember. Because he's been a Dodger for a number of years now, so it's kind of like, when did he win it? Because he's never not been good. You know what I mean? I did see a stat. The last time Mookie Betts was not an All Star, Jackson Merrill, who was I think an All Star, was in 6th grade. So I mean, that puts into context how long Mookie's been an All Star. So I'm like,
Right.
where in that giant run did he win the MVP? Like, so
2018. That's it.
thanks for Cespedes Frog Barbecue for that stat. Don't know which of the two boys tweeted it out, but shout out for one of you. Good stat. But yeah, Mookie Betts, good at baseball. He's been playing shortstop. And also
Yeah.
good behind the booth. I don't know if you saw that, JT. Helped call a game for the Dodgers.
I just saw the screenshot. I didn't see any live video
Yeah,
or anything.
he's good. What can't Mookie Betts do?
He's
Is
got the
basically
Riz, bro. You know, no
he's
cap.
like humbled during the home run derby. He's like, this isn't for me, but I wanted to do it. Shucks. Like, I'm like, God, Mookie, like, you're adorbs. And then like, I'm just gonna switch and play shortstop next year. No big deal. Like, when I grow up, I want to be Mookie Betts. Is basically what I'm saying. Speaking of which, when I grow up, we're gonna pick up people. Gosh, get off my screen. Okay, my screen froze. Okay, here we go. We're talking about people we just talked about. Jackson Merrill. Oh, he's 70% rostered. I guess that's too high. But again, he should be rostered more. He's fun at baseball. He's I don't know what to say. Also say 12 home runs, 10 stolen bases, filling it out. 50. He's got 40 runs, 50 RBIs. Jackson Merrill needs to be in the 90s. What are we doing? Mark Venutos, 25% roster. He needs to be rostered way more. 12% increase. But get those rookie numbers up. Get them up. Dude likes to hit dingers. He strikes out, but hit dingers. Even good in average league. 288 batting average. And he's still been pretty consistent with the batting average too. Pretty consistent 1-for-4 contributor. So not going to kill you there. East recently, but yeah. You go, JT. Go. Oh, I already got it. You're already picking Ben Rice. He hit 3 dingers, right?
Yeah, because you can bank on that going forward. Ultimately, it is. I mean, Ben Rice is nice because of that catcher eligibility.
Yeah.
Take out that 3 home run game the other day, and it's still pretty impressive what he's doing at the plate so far. So hey, there's probably a need for it. Definitely in a 15-team league.
It was kind of tongue in cheek, but the more I thought about it, you're right. It's a catcher. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, take a gamble on a catcher because odds are somebody is not rostering a catcher that they're super high on. So, like, I don't know. Like, yeah, like roll the dice, see what happens.
Absolutely. Jose Miranda. What tied for the MLB hits in a row for like 12 at bats in a row.
Yeah, he went kind of bananas there. He's been pretty bananas the last 20 games. One game he's been shut out from hits. Other than that, yeah, got a lot of multi-hit games too. Average up to 331.
Yeah, I took a look at it. I'm like, where was he from? What's his backstory? You know, because I didn't know too much about him.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I obviously Googled his name. And I hit Wiki on one of the first couple clicks. You know, just to get maybe some more personal, quick backstory. There is one sentence in his personal life, so
And
years you need to beef it up. But
what's the one sentence?
his cousin is actor and playwright Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's his cousin?
Yeah, that's the guy from Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton. Yeah,
and what's those?
He was in
stuff.
Yeah, he's been in Parks and Rec. He's a huge fan of It's Always Sunny, and he needs to get on the show.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I was like, that's a pretty sweet combo in the family tree.
Because Miranda's a pretty common name. I never would have guessed.
Right?
Never would have guessed. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Moana did some music. and Moana, Star Wars,
Dude, just cranking
DuckTales,
everything. Yeah.
2018. Dude, Mary Poppins Returns,
Yeah.
Star Wars Skywalker, Encanto. That was the one I was thinking of. Encanto, not
Dude, if it's something
wow.
that's like a musical, like it's a 50-50 shot. He wrote something for it. The
Dang.
last
So
like
Jose needs to get on that level. He's
there
still kind of
is
behind in the race.
a Latin pop star who does play for a baseball team. Did you see that?
The other Iglesias.
Yeah. Number one span is it Latin pop charts? There we
Yes.
go. To hook them up, like these two need to link up.
The story of that, I watched a Facebook reel, and it was what down and dirty 30-second version of
Yeah,
like where, because Jose Iglesias kind of written off, didn't have a contract, minor leagues, and then started dabbling with his music career, and then the Mets were just, well, a month ago they were almost near
yeah,
lighting themselves in their own dumpster fire, and then full bounce back, and it's just like, it's vibes, and it's like he's got this song, and then he performed it live on their, like, after a game.
yeah. OMG, right? Or was it
Yeah,
OMG?
OMG.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like
I was
there's
like, it was an
shirts,
acronym.
and
Yeah.
um props to him. It's just almost too ridiculous for me. Like, it's just like, okay, like,
That's
this will be fun for now, but I think it'll
he
it'll
gets some
eventually
he gets some
fizzle
fantasy
out.
points in your locker room because of the vibes he's going to bring to your locker room.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of vibes, we talked about it just now with the Minnesota Twins. I think we have a sweet spot. If we weren't like Mariner fans, I think both of us would probably be Twins fans. I like a lot of the Twins players. I like Brooks Lee a lot.
Mhm.
Rostered in 10% of leagues. He plays shortstop.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be much, much higher. Call me crazy. But if I didn't have Corey Seager and Mason Wynn and a couple other guys and Jackson Merrill, I would probably. I have 5 shortstops. I just realized in that league, I'm like, I can't really roster a 6th.
That's where the
But
talent is, bro.
well, to be fair, all of them but 2 play multiple positions. So I only
Mhm.
have one, obviously, like that's like okay. But and I'm still a Mason Wynn stand, but like I'm just like, man, like I would love to pick him up. And I looked at it, I was like, I because I'm like, I don't roster him because I can't. But I'm like, why is no one else in our league picked him up? But I'm a big proponent um of rostering this gentleman. So yes,
Yeah, and let me chime in. When he got brought up, I was going to say, I don't know what it's going to take in your Fab League, because Fab just ran tonight,
yeah,
and so we have our NFBC League. It took 122 Fab dollars for that. And then
yeah.
in my other NFBC, I got him for 20. So there's a big range.
It's
I don't
a
know if everyone else was asleep at the wheel with, 4th of July happening, but I was just like, that's a big disparity. I didn't think I would get him,
yeah,
but I picked him up and I dropped Orlando Arcia, which he just really hasn't been getting going. He's been sitting on my bench, and really,
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know. But if Brooks Lee keeps playing, I mean, he's basically filling in for Royce Lewis, and then Correa's now day to day, unofficially. He's going to be getting at bats. He's got the pedigree, so might as well see what he
I was
does.
gonna say I think you call up a guy like Brooks Lee to play him, even if Correa didn't get hurt. You've got they're gonna play him
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. You got to get that
Yeah.
bat somewhere, and that's what. Same with James Woods. James Wood.
Oh yeah.
Well, I believe he's a number 1 prospect in baseball, right? Was that technically before he got called up? Because he passed. What's
Because
he passed the Baltimore kid, Jackson Holiday.
Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday was bumped down to 2, and James Woods was number 1. Yeah, and obviously depending on, I think it was Baseball America or something like that. Depends on obviously one, but either way, big prospect. 35% rostered and has started off very well. Washington just hits, and it's very weird. So yeah, just pick up James Wood, outfielder. Get get on that. Pretty dynamic too. I really like James as well. He is rostered. We're trying to make a play for him. Gosh, I really want Brooks. I just keep looking at him, but I just can't pull it. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk myself into it later by the end of this podcast, but we'll see. We'll see.
If you wanted James Wood in our 15-team league, you would have had to have gotten him a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Because AP picked him up for $2 fab on May 19th, and that's
Nice.
why AP is second overall in the or he's first in our league. But he's second in the overall, which is impressive. But that's the kind of in-depthness you need.
Yeah. Who else you got here, JT? Who else?
Long game. Let's see. Let me switch gears. Get back here. Jonathan India still needs to be picked up. He's hitting the ball so well. 36% rostered. OBP machine right now, batting leadoff in Cincinnati.
Play second. I mean, honestly, that's kind of all you need to say. Yeah.
Matt Chapman's on fire, 45% rostered. I mean, it's just like, I don't even know if you need to get position specific. Like, baseball is a streaky sport. These players are hitting the ball really well, seeing the ball really well. There's always usually a couple guys on your roster you can kind of just churn and burn through.
Logan O'Hoppe is 50% rostered, and as a catcher who's got a 330 on base, who's not going to kill you, I feel like that needs to be much higher. 12 home runs from a catcher. Yeah. Like, that is a playable catcher for sure.
I think he was like the dark horse pick. I feel like he's going to cement himself as like a top 5 fantasy catcher next year.
Yeah.
Given what he's doing.
It's just a wasteland out there, so people just easily write him off. But yeah.
It's like Sean Murphy with the playing time. Or without the playing time concern, however you want to say it. It's just like, that's what he's capable of, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Yep.
Sidebar. I see Willie Castro. I just saw on a Facebook group somebody traded Willie Castro for Corbin Carroll. So I don't know what kind of counsel or other type of resources you might need, but feel free to tweet at us at Fancy Dad Pros if you're about to click that button, accepting Willie Castro and sending Corbin Carroll. At least let us try to persuade you otherwise.
My only justification, obviously it's a redraft league. There's no keeper status attached here. If there is a keeper league, just bypass us. We can't help you.
Is there?
You need a professional
to join.
Yeah, but their option is like Willie Castro. I mean, just Corbin Carroll struggled mightily this year, and Willie Castro's got hot and plays like every position.
Yep.
So I guess if you're thinking like Corbin Carroll's just broken for the year, Willie Castro's going to keep this up maybe, and I just need like a second baseman. I mean, I honestly would not do it, but there is a world in which that's the case. So I might believe in it. Someone just might be super pissed at Corbin Carroll and be like, I want this guy off my effing team. I think I'm just trying to talk myself into allowing this to be a possibility in my head. But, that's what it is. Brent Rooker, 36% rostered with 18 home runs and a 350 on base. Yeah, it needs to be. I mean, it plays outfield, but come on, guys. Come on. Like, I'm looking at it right here, and Ian Happ has 13 home runs, and has what is it? 0.001% on base percentage better, and is rostered in. I just lost it. 40% more leagues. They both play outfield, guys. Brett Rooker has more RBIs, less runs, obviously. Less walks, and less stolen bases, but they both have like 4 and 7. Who cares? You know what I mean? They're basically the same player. And Brett Rooker probably honestly is a little better stats wise, because again, the home runs count so much, and he's 40% less rostered. So let's think about what we're doing. George Springer is 40% more rostered than Brent Rooker. And I'm not even going to give you all those stats because Brent Rooker cleans house in that one. So yeah, what are we doing? More people need to roster Brent Rooker.
Yeah, I keep finding second baseman. there's gotta be a plethora of second basemen that you're willing to drop. Um, guess who's hot again? Luis Garcia. Guess who he's on? The Nationals. They hit. Okay, he took a mini break, late May into June ish, if memory serves me right. But he's back. He's back hitting again, and he can he can string some hits together. He's a
Yeah,
contact
he
kind
is
of guy.
hot. Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Who's the
gosh,
other one? Colt Keith. All right, I know it's Detroit. I know it's it's
he
kind of like
struggled too,
this.
right in the beginning.
Yeah, he's kind of like that other fantasy dark horse, but it just didn't work out to start the year. But
Yep.
he's kind of starting to come along. He'll usually chip in third base eligibility too, but you'll really just want to use him at second or middle infield. But he's stringing quite a few games in a row, hits together. He had a really good week this week, but hopefully can carry that in through.
I mean,
It's just
850 slug the last 7 days. Yeah, that'll work.
yeah, he's just swinging. He's striking
Yeah.
out, but he's also making a ton of contact. So
Again, you have a 1200 OPS. I don't swing and miss all you want. That's what's going to happen.
right.
You play like Aaron Judge, I'll eat the couple strikeouts you strike out a couple times a game. That's fine with me. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, he has got hot fast. I kind of honestly good call because I kind of written him off because he was struggling mightily, and I was like, oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to circle back next year, but he got crazy hot. So hopefully he keeps it going. I had another. Oh shoot, I lost him. You distracted me, JT. Way to go. It's all right. It's all right.
Rowdy Tellez, that's who you're gonna tell.
Rowdy Tellez. No. I've been on that train.
I know, but summer's here. Let's get rowdy. He's on that classic streak. If you've got like a Gavin Sheets on your drop him, pick up route. Like you've got some bum at first base,
He's got 1,000 slug the last 7 days. I'll tell you what. like
he's been hitting over, even though it's 2 weeks. He's got at least 5 home runs.
Yeah, I mean,
one for each series. That's a good pace. That's good pace.
I get it, JT. He's got 5 home runs last 2 weeks. That brings his total to 7.
And you know what? Got one stolen base.
That one SB
just stolen base right at the end of June there on the 25th.
Love it.
I
love it. Not pick him up, guys, but I'm going to shout out. Can I ruin our Dad Bod Player of the Week?
Uh-oh.
Christian Walker. Did you see this stat? If he played, so he's played like, I can't remember the exact number of games, but the number of games I think it was like 50 something. Number of games he's played at Dodger Stadium. If they extrapolated that out over the course of a season, he would have hit 74 home runs in a 162 game season. He just hit dingers in that stadium. That's a big stadium too. It's not a little stadium. And he hit 5 in a 3-game series there just recently, and he's up to 22. Put some respect on Christian Walker's name is what I'm saying here. Wow, 95% roster, but put some respect on his name. 22 dingers for that man.
Put some heavy respect on the name. Didn't he get snubbed from the All-Stars?
Dude, I don't know, but
and the thing I think I just saw on Twitter right before we hit record was Christian Walker left out as of right now. Obviously, things might change
more than Stanton, Alonso, Teoscar Hernandez, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Bryce Harper, Devers, Juan Soto, Christian Walker. People, I mean, hopefully you know who he is by listening to this podcast because you're sickos, but we appreciate it because we're obviously sickos. But Christian Walker, you should know who Christian Walker is. Like, dude's him. So, yeah. That was my own little rant just for me. Pitchers, unless you got more hitters, but
no, I'm good on hitters. Gotta give pitchers some love. I picked up a ton of pitchers in the 15-team league. I don't even know who. I made so many fab bids.
You just blacked out.
I ended up with. I was just like, I need a whole new pitching staff. Go.
Yeah, go. We talked about it before. Jake Irvin. Irvin needs to be. Since we last talked about him, he threw an 8-inning shutout. 1 hitter, by the way. I think. When did we last record, JT?
Like a week and a half ago.
just trying to find out the actual date because he might have thrown 2 starts, and he's gone. Hold on, let me see. Let me do a quick little math here. He's gone 14 innings of 2-hit baseball.
Yeah,
So
we recorded like the 27th.
yes, so yes, since we recorded, he has pitched 14 innings and given up 2 hits. So what we're saying here is you need to pick up Jake Irvin. like we're like, oh, I don't know if it's going to continue, and then he's like, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. You're sounding stupid. Pam situation. You need to pick up Jake Irvin. So 53% rostered. The dude is. I didn't. But I was like, you got to pick him up. You got to roster him more leagues. I was like, but where's it going to stop? And then it's only getting like better for him. And I'm just like, okay, then I'll just ride it. Like at this point, what's they're like a sub 3 ERA and a whip of 1 on the dot as a starter. Just
on the season. It's not even just like, oh, he's in a good month. Or
he's got a whip on 1 on the, like as a starter. Like that's good for a relief pitcher, but as a starter, he's like, yeah, that's just what it is. And he's a little shy of a strikeout an inning, but again, I don't care. If your ERA is sub 3 and your reps 1, I'll live with the sub strikeout an inning thing. Don't care. You got 12 quality starts on the season.
Yeah, I just filtered by that.
Yeah.
And then looking at roster percentage, everyone else that has like 10 quality starts or more on the year,
is
only
basically
only a handful are rostered lower than he is. Like almost everyone is like 90+%.
If you do 11 and above, everyone is 90%. Minus Jose Barrios because he's at 89.1. We'll round it up. We'll say 90. He's at 53. What are we doing? The only one that ruins it at 10 and above, or there's a couple that ruin it at 10 and above, is Miles Michaelis. You know, sometimes it helps to have great run support. Or not great run support, but like just have like when you're on, and then the other days you're just not. And then Cal Quantrill. You go, Cal. 7% rostered. There you go. And Tyler All-Star. We've talked about Tyler Anderson.
I mean, I think we could represent.
I think we could say maybe minus Miles Michaelis, but the other two should probably be rostered in more than the 7%. If you have 10 quality starts, you're on pace for 20. You should probably roster more than 7% of leagues. I'm not saying it's going to be great, like, it'll be like 80, but like probably more than 7, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just looking at these names overall. We should probably do next week, do like a fantasy all-star.
Oh, yeah.
For the first half. But like Seth Lugo leads the league in quality starts so far. And
as the podcast person who loves Seth Lugo, this is in my wildest dreams. I never thought this was going to happen. I was like, this dude needs to be a starter from the Mets. He was great as a starter, was always worse as a relief pitcher, needs to be a starter. And I was like, oh my gosh, what did I unleash on this world?
Oh yeah.
Doesn't he just
spot for Lugo?
I heard a stat that there's a winning percentage like attributed to like overall like winning percentage contributed to like per starter, and it's like 2% or something like that, of one, because you're only starting 5 games every 5 days, so and he's the only pitcher in the entire league over 2, and he's at 3.5. So he's like shattering the rest of the league. So when he starts, it's very good for the Royals. He's very good because he eats innings too.
Mm-hmm.
So Seth Lugo is a beast.
Dang, yeah, most strikeouts. Crochet. I mean, he was fancy pickup. Lugo probably was fringe. Definitely, in 12 teams.
Well, I mean, Lugo was probably really late, depending on 12 teams. Yeah,
that's what makes pitching so much fun.
Pitching. I was just talking about that today, where I was just like, like I feel like a lot of like the best pitchers are like Cole Reagan's. Like you saw the flashes last year, but he's like, all right, I'm here. Let's do the thing. Your boy, Boston, Houck, like you thought, I'm sure the same thing. You're like, oh, this guy's gonna be good, and he's just like crushing it. Like it's just like,
yeah. Oh, former boy. I don't know. I still have. I do like me some.
You've been on him for a number of years now, and you knew it was you knew it was in him. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But I traded him Christian Walker, so that's how much I like both those guys. And we
You know,
mentioned them today in the
yeah.
podcast too.
Scooble, like just a couple years ago, Detroit was like, we failed at this rebuild. All the starters have failed, and Scooble's like, I could win a Cy Young, and they're like, oh,
What did he have? 13 strikeouts
Scoob,
today?
yes,
So
yes,
he hit the 13 strikeout day today. And I was just feeling a little silly on Twitter. And every time I was going through my Twitter feed and they'd have a picture of him, I'm like, that's a really awkward photo of him, or that's a really bad picture of him, or that's a real. And then I was like, okay, this is like a montage. So I did 3 different ones that I had found pretty quickly. And I'm like, he's a 10, but he just can't naturally smile for a pick.
yeah.
Those types of people.
That's me. I hate it. I actually got ripped on in my work for it. Yeah, can't do it.
The other one, he's a 10, but he's just not photogenic because they did a picture and it's like from behind him as he's like mid stride in his windup. It just looks awkward.
Pitching is a very It is not good to take a picture midstream of a pitcher. It's just never
Right.
going to look.
It's like
It's
he's
one of those.
full
Wasn't there one where it was like the divers in the Olympics where they're like diving and their like face are all scrunched up all the time? Like you're never going to look good in that shot. Like it's a cool like body motion for a pitcher, but your face is always like you're like tense or you're about to poop, one or the other. So it's like,
right.
yeah, I feel you there on that one. Yeah.
And then my last one was the Detroit Tigers. They did the video of him getting his 13 strikeout, like change up away or something like that. And he like bleeps and they have to like bleep him out. They're like, oh, there's a season high for Scooble. And he's just like beep, beep in the background. And I'm like, he's a 10, but he's a lefty with the potty mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, he's letting him know.
Man,
He's letting him know.
what a game.
Yeah.
Pick him up if he's available in your
and again, if he's not picked up and it's a money league, JT and me are available.
Yeah.
We'll gladly join your league. We'll combine on a team if we need be.
There's a league out there, Sean. He's plus 0.1%.
So I'm looking at that right now. I'm like,
increased rostered. So he went from 99.6 to 99.7.
Someone was like, that 13 strikeout game, that sold it for me. Like, not the 0.9 whip and the 2.3 ERA. Like that. Wow. I'm sold now. I'm good. Like, yeah. Okay. Who else needs to be rostered more leagues?
Sean Manaea has been coming back on strong. He's just that kind of like gatekeeper. Like you probably could stream him here and there. He gets the Rockies, like at home. He doesn't have to go to Mile High, so that might be a solid matchup right before the All-Star break. But I think he's like just the kind of a solid pitcher. Depending on what your team needs, you just need innings. I feel like you could rely on him. And I'm just saying, a big increase in his. He's up to 27% roster.
Yeah, if you there's some leagues that like people punt saves or relief pitchers, and he has RP eligibility. So if you're just loading up on starters, you could stick him in an RP spot, and he's clearly just starting. So, like JT said, if you need innings, he can give you innings in just to overwhelm someone league with strikeouts and whatnot. I was gonna say JT, someone we talked about, was not pretty today. He got 7 runs against the Twins today. But before that, we've had 2 starts again of Hunter Brown. And he proceeded to go 6 innings of 2 hit ball and 0 runs in both of those. So prior to literally today, it had been great since we last podcasted. Happens. But yeah, he's continued the trend of figuring it out. So
baseball's weird. He gave up 7 earned today. You have to go back to May 22nd is the last time he gave up the other 7 earned. Most previously. He gave up like one in June, and then just a weird game.
It's just how it works. Let me see, guys.
He's capable of that. I feel like he's gonna have like just a one horrible meltdown. That I feel like that's just kind of in him right now. That's his makeup for where he's at in his career.
That's always an interesting pitcher too. It's always like there always seems to be that guy. There always seems to be a couple of those guys where they're on, and at like 4 out of every 5 games they're crazy on, and then they'll be like off for a game, and you're gonna get him in that game, and then you're like, well, we got the game, we're gonna get him, and then the next month he's gonna get like a run or 2. the next month. And you're like, well, let's hope we just catch him on the bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's what it's looking like. He's just going to blow up, and he's going to figure it out. He's going to blow up. I didn't get him, but Shane Baz did come up.
Yeah.
And he pitched 6 strikeouts in 6 innings, give up 7 hits though, earned runs, but was in Texas first game back. I believe the talent's still there. 17% rostered. I think it should be more. They let him go 6 innings in his first start. JT back, so
That's a big plus.
Huge. So I think that's why I'm more confident in him being rostered in more leagues. Talent is off the charts with this guy. But it's just a health thing, and it's a Rays thing. And if the Rays are going to let him go 6 and he's healthy, sky's the limit. So needs to be rostered. And I would say probably close to 50% of leagues, because he's definitely worth that dice roll because the talent's there.
For sure. Yeah. And let's extrapolate this. Let's use the transitive property here. All right. If we're all listening. Okay. Baz gets called up because they traded Savale. They're like, hey, Baz is healthy again. Savale, we don't need you anymore. We're just going to trade you. So I'm thinking Jeffrey Springs is on the way, probably by the end of this month or so. So are we trading in real life?
Yeah.
You think like Tampa Bay trades Zach Littell or, one of those? Because like they've got too much talent. Like we need to trade guys. Like we can't fake injuries. More so than any other team. So I'm feeling like another trade is going to be needed because Springs is on the way. So if you're hyped for Baz, Springs should be a pretty solid pickup in a few weeks when he's ready to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Must be nice. We have too much pitching. We're just gonna
Trevor McGill again. 18 saves, 30% rostered. Gonna say it again. What? Okay, just pick him up. I don't know. I don't know what else we have to do there.
Of those in the last month. I know he's coming on strong, but that's super valuable. That's a top.
Yeah, he's what
in terms of just saves.
Tied for like 8th in the league in saves. And he's 30% rostered. What are we doing? Yeah, just pick him up. Let's see here.
Wait, no, that's not really. Woods Richardson is 10% rostered.
Yeah, because you're talking the guy in our league who rosters him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
dude. I mean,
it's not.
I feel like it's like a Mania thing. Look how consistent he is. Over the last.
It's identical. These lines are identical. Yeah.
For the last month, every single game but one, he's given up 4 hits. Every single game, he's given up 2 walks. 3 out of 4, he's got 4 strike. Like
his line is basically 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 or 2 earned runs, because that kind of flips you. It's 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. And so it's basically like, he gets an out here or there. He's basically averaging close to a quality start a game. He just needs to get 1 or 2 more outs, and then he gets you a quality start. And that's my biggest thing for a starter that I want. I go, if you're getting me the quality start, that number, I can, unless you're killing me on something else, I could eat that number. And he's got a 1.1 whip, sub 3.5 ERA. That is like, and you get me a quality start every time with that. That is like a good fantasy pitcher. And he's just getting buried because like there's people out here that we've talked about that are just like, that are rostered in just way more leagues. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like he's largely the same. And it's just like, due to like post-hype sleeper because he got traded. So it's like, what is this?
Right.
People forgot about him. So I'm just like, it's still valuable that like you get this. Like, I know everyone's chasing the strikeouts, but when everyone's competing for the strikeouts, you could fill out a very good roster with these other things. Like, get these quality starts, get these like serviceable ones, and then the strikeouts come with real risk. And so, yeah, you're just sitting over here and like, I'll collect these like very nice pieces over here. Bryce Singer, 67% rostered. It's just good. It's just good. Talking about consistency, he's basically gives up a run a start. That's what he's for the last, let me see here, 20 starts. He has given up more than a run. 1 run, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. and he's given up 0 runs 0 times. So he gives up 1 run 16 of the 20 times.
Yeah, he's kind of in that same swim lane as like a Hunter Brown. I feel like he's got the
Yep.
random blow up here every month or so,
Yep.
but
5 runs, 4
otherwise,
runs, 6 runs, and then other than that, he's given up 1. Yep.
yeah.
That's what.
Just in terms of just funny, what league are you in? I just saw Crochet is plus 2% rostered of over last week, up to 93% rostered. It's like, oh, maybe I should add the league leader in strikeouts. I don't know
Interesting.
what we're doing here, but what league are you in? What's the what are the settings
Yeah,
in this
where
league? You only
yeah.
get to roster 2 pitchers. You didn't want the league leader in strikeouts. Okay, cool.
I just, I try not to be it's hard to surprise me anymore, but you know what I mean, like I guess yeah, there's that league that in prime Mike Trout was like, I don't know. It's got to be one of those joke leagues, right? Or something like that. You can't
Right.
like one of those leagues where it's a home league where like we hate Mike Trout in this league because it's like I don't know, like some rival of the Angels, like the Dodger League, and they're like, you can't roster him. You can't roster any Angels players. It's got to be one of those. It's got to be one, right? It's got to be
Yeah.
like rival of the White Sox League, where like let's just make it a pact that you can't roster the White Sox players. Although that can't make up for the 7% of leagues that all of
Right.
ESPN that don't. But that makes sense. That can make sense for like the 99.7 because that's really what the most I see. JT, I don't know if you know that. I guess Zach Wheeler's 99.9, but like it's the highest I usually see is like 99.7 in ESPN. I feel like there's some bad leagues and then there's some like home leagues that don't allow certain players, and that's where they get the 0.7.
Yeah, it's like exclusive to the West.
Really, like I see like Corbin Burns 99.7. Like that is the highest, other than Zach Wheeler, on pitchers that I'm finding. But
yeah, some weird like NL only, make up enough where the AL
Zach
only
Wheeler
make
is
contrast enough to be that 0.3 here and there.
Zach Wheeler is the one pitcher above a 99.7 ESPN.
Dang, I just found a super consistent and like a Woods Richardson vibe. Our good friend, it's been a while, Carlos Carrasco.
Ooh, that's a dive.
Cleveland this year. I kind of spaced it. I know I've had him. I think I streamed him a little bit in a 15-team league, but otherwise, it was a rough go of it up through May. But over the last month, been pretty solid numbers, pretty good starts, and Cleveland's been playing pretty well. I mean, they have a ton of wins. So, I mean, I feel like the wins. I don't know if you're going to get a quality start out of Carrasco at this point.
I feel like he goes 5 innings usually and then gets you a 6th here and there. So I feel like it's a 50-50 shot right now. He's going to get you the innings needed for a quality start. That's pretty good.
I feel like I'd watch list him at a minimum. I mean, he's just that kind of consistent out there. It's not as fun. Whereas like I'm looking at a Jonathan Cannon, the pitcher for the White Sox here. He's starting to stabilize. Kind of had that really rough outing against Detroit, 3 starts back, but otherwise been, 8 2/3, no earned
against Houston.
Middle of June, and really just the Detroit one really stands out as just like one bad blip, but otherwise, and he gets Pittsburgh this Saturday. That'd be a fun one to end right before the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's all the good ones I got. Do you want to flipping over to drops? Do you want to leave that one for this week?
Yeah, let's just talk about dad strength. Let's just close it out.
Let's just hit some. Let's hit some dad muscles here.
Just in the air, flashes of just brilliance. 4th of July theme, post 4th of July vibe.
Luis Robert, 470, Colorado. Okay, well, still though, anytime you're hitting 470. Oh, good to see O'Neal Cruz back on here at number 4, 452. It's been a while since we said his name. Christian Yelich, 446. kind of always have a soft spot for that man. So good to see him back. Hit another dinger today. So there you go, Christian.
Perez. It's that's like the definition. That's like the silhouette
Oh,
of catchers.
and
That's
in
who
this
I think of,
podcast.
basically.
All catchers really are the silhouette of this podcast, but yeah. Anthony Santander, also a very extremely underrated home run hitter. He was right above Christian Walker in home runs this year with 23. So respect on his name too. That guy, I saw a stat, JT, of like something where he like just constantly hits 30 plus home runs, and just no one ever talks about him because he was there when they were bad, and now he's here when they're good, and they're like, oh, look at all these new players. He's like, I'm still hitting 30. Like,
As a switch hitter, isn't he?
gosh,
I don't
honestly,
know
I
what
don't.
the splits are, but I'm pretty
He
sure he's a switch
just
hitter.
he doesn't do, and that's the thing. Like, kind of we talk about some of the pitchers. Is nothing's well. The home run should be sexy, but like other than that, they're like it's not flashy. But he's just like I just keep hitting dingers, and it's just like I don't hit like 40, but you know what I mean. Like I'm hitting 30 consistently. Like sorry that I'm pulling a Hank Aaron over and over. Like, but sneak up on you after a while. I think what I'm saying is like in a couple of years when you see how many he accrues, you'll be like, wow, he hit that many home runs. Yeah, he just keeps doing it. So yeah, respect the Santander. Brent Rooker on here, 437. Just talk about him. Lamont Wade Jr., San Francisco, against Hot Atlanta, 442.
He's back and he's healthy. That's an OBP machine.
Yep.
Shout out.
Yep. And Trey Turner, speaking of being healthy, 459. Also against Atlanta. Captain America, right? Is that kind of what we're calling him after his World Baseball Classic? Couldn't deliver us, though, so maybe he doesn't get the moniker because we couldn't win the whole thing. But we blame Mike Trout for that, right? Because he couldn't hit Ohtani inside job. Yeah.
Yeah. But man, that's what I think of now. Trey Turner, like, that's a career highlight. Is just the hot streak he was on at the World Baseball Classic last year. That was ridiculous.
And then it, like, killed. I don't know if it killed, but he started so bad in real baseball, too. Everyone's like, what is happening? And the World Baseball Classic. And he's like, guys, I'm fine. Just relax.
Yeah. Huge storyline, though.
Yeah, for first couple months, it was like, big World Baseball Classic, burn it to the ground. And then they cheered for him that one time, and he's like, I can hit dingers. And they're like, okay.
Yeah, because that was just like right after, oh gosh, I just blanked. Mets relief pitcher, this guy.
Edwin Diaz.
Thank you. When he got injured.
Celebrating, yeah.
Yeah, and then compound with that, like, Trey Turner, a mega slump right after that. And they're like,
yeah, it was
this good for baseball. Of course it is. Like, are you kidding me?
Gosh, I'll never forget that Ohtani Trout at bat. Like, just that at bat. Like that was like one of the coolest things ever because it was so hyped and it was just it came down to that. The only way it would have been a little bit cooler is if like there's like a runner on or something, like somebody like that, like there was a guy on second or something like that. But like other than that, that's just nitpicking. It was like there's a guy on second, Trout's up, or the bases are loaded, and if Trout makes contact or he walks him, then it's it. But like, yeah, it was bottom of the ninth down to those two. So, and there's something about a starter that warms up during a playoff game that gets the blood going. You know what I mean? Like, you saw him, like, because that's the thing. You can't hide it. So when Ohtani leaves the dugout and walks over to the mound to get warming up, all of the American team knows it's Ohtani time. Like, next inning, Ohtani's coming out, and they have to like get ready with the knowledge that Ohtani's coming in for one inning throwing gas, and it's just like the coolest thing. So. It's fantastic. Let's do some exit velos. We're talking about Ohtani. I'm just getting all worked up here. So let's do.
Sounds like you got the meat sweats.
I got the meat sweats. William Contreras 118. Hello, sir.
Dude, I think he has like the 5th most just hits on the season so far. It's just like ridiculous.
Those two brothers, like just from catcher, they're propping up the catching position just by themselves. I feel like just those two guys, like they're the new. What is up with catchers' families? I just realized the Yachty family, and then they're the Yachty family. They're not the Molina family. The Yachty really propped up those brothers, but still, like, and then the Contreras brothers taking over. Dang, playing for the same team too. Man, all right. O'Neal Cruz up here a couple times. Good to see again. Him back going 117. I gotta.
Just take a peek.
Yeah, I gotta take a peek because his stuff's always just like, oh gosh, it's just disgusting in like a completely good way. Like, big man has big levers, and when it uncorks, like, it's just like,
yeah. I mean, geez, two in the top 7 here. Jesus Sanchez, look at that guy. 2 in the top 16.
yeah,
That's just like an underrated third outfielder for your fantasy team.
again, just that wasteland of hitters hitting for Miami at this point. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, ugh.
just like been kind of solid. Not a big name, not a name brand you recognize, but yeah, he's showing a little power there. Heating up down in Miami.
Juan Soto. There's 2 mirrors in the top 15. That's not real. Luke Raley and Julio Rodriguez. That's not a thing. But Marte hits a single 115. There you go. Marte's up here. Yeah, Marte, like you said, up here a couple times. Unfortunately, both singles, but get that Olive. But I guess what you're doing now, it works. He's having a great year. Aaron Judge.
Oh, there's Judge. Yeah, I was
17.
gonna say, where'd you go?
Next to Jordan, or near Jordan. I mean, those 2 guys slacking.
Yeah,
really slacking.
Ohtani
down to 23.
Yeah, the normal names are not at the top. They just party too hard for the 4th.
I guess.
Celebrating too much.
Ohtani struggled to hit his 27th home run, only 112 miles an hour. You know?
Wow.
Did he even try? Bobby Witt is up here a bunch.
Off.
I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm down to like the 30s, but like,
well,
he's up here like 5 times.
6. Yeah.
He's up here like 5 times in the top 30. So he's just Bobby Witt, man. Yeah, he's just good at baseball. He's just real good at baseball. You come here with a podcast for that revelation for me to realize that Bobby Witt's good at baseball.
I would say, side note, every few names I'm just like, oh yeah, that guy's got some trade buzz going on. I'm ready for the trade deadline. I'm just ready for stuff to just
pop
crazy.
up. Nolan Jones back from the IL. And even in Colorado, but hitting a laser against the White Sox. That is a laser. That ball did not get more than 20 feet off the ground, JT. I don't know if you saw it. Off of cannon, by the way. But I was like, oh, that's a nice double-eddy hit off the bat. And I'm like, oh, no, it just went over the wall. I was like, wow. I even clicked on it that said it was a home run. And I'm like, off the bat, I was like, oh, I forgot instantly it was a home run. I was like, that's a double. And I was like, oh, nope, it snuck over that wall there. Yeah, okay. Let's get it going, Nolan Jones. Let's get it going. Still rostered you on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Holding on hope. And there's no other outfielder I liked in our deep league, so holding on hope. And necessity.
Yeah, he's young, relatively speaking. I mean, like, it's nothing crazy to have that type of slump. But
and it sounded like his injury was really... He had some stuff lingering, too, so hopefully it's just... More it just seemed like, guys, I'm hurt. Like, don't let it linger. Let their season get ruined, you know? Come on. I don't want to be tough, but, like, help the team out, buddies. Come on. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Anybody else, JT?
Something else. I'm already mentally prepping for our podcast next week. We'll do like an all-star like break fantasy heroes and zeros, but MLB draft is also next weekend. So I'm pretty hyped about that. That's always cool to see.
Yes. To learn about players I don't know.
Right.
That's always fantastic.
I got sucked into the College World Series and now see like maybe a handful of those names. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that guy a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Who's this other one? Wake Forest? Sweet. So that'll be good.
All right, well, we already named our fantasy dog, or at least I did. I forced it. Christian Walker. Put more respect on his name. I don't even know if he's dad, but He should be.
He's got the bod for it.
Yeah, if he wants to be, go for it. Yeah.
Congrats, Christian Walker. What was the pace? 70 plus home runs if he was a Dodger?
74 if he played every game at which is like the craziest thing. Like someone was talking about, like, can you believe that many home runs? And then I had to remember, like, a human being did that. Like, basically, like, I was like, can you believe it? I'm like, steroids or not, Barry Bonds, like, did that. Like, that happened. Like, we watched it happen in the season. So, like, just, it's crazy. Barry, like, have fun. Look at those early, like, those 2000s, like, San Francisco years for Barry Bonds. Like, just go back and look at them. Like, I always occasionally, not even a joke, like, once every 5 months, I'll go back and, like, baseball reference it and be like, look at the bold, and I'm like, oh my god, like, that was your on base was 600. Like, for like 4 years, he was just like, I get on base like half the time, more. Like, it's just what I do. I can't. People can't wrap their head around it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like over half the time he's like, I'm just gonna get on first. Like, it's cool. I thought I saw a stat. He has more intentional walks in that stretch than the Miami Marlins have in their franchise.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, like, that's just like ridiculous. But yes, Christian Walker, GOAT. Yeah.
Cool. All right, we got a week left before the All-Star break. Set your lineups, tweet at us, Fancy Dad Pods, if you got any questions. But as always, we thank you for joining us. We appreciate you listening. Take care, be well, until next time. See ya.
See ya.